Hey guys, how y'all doing today? Tyler here, AnsRock50. Welcome back to another Bloons BTD Battles episode, and this one is a strategy one. For those who are all up in arms about the current farm meta or just want some way to actually consistently beat banana farms, this is the strategy for you. It's the strategy originally by Gaming Shaft. He created it, and it wasn't that well polished, so now I'm just kind of working here with Nature Spirit, and we're trying to polish the Dart Ace and Cobra strategy, which I believe is very good against farm users, whether it's like Dart Farm Bomb or other Dart Farm variants or Ninja Farm Bomb. This strategy will just absolutely dumpster those. So what's the whole idea behind it, right? So at first it's an eco strategy. I mean, you don't want to do Cobras right away, but eventually the idea is as it goes further into mid game, that's when you start applying pressure with balloon adjustment Cobras. Now this is a bit different than the whole boomerang village Cobra strategy because, you know, there's a lot more greed to it. It has a lot more defending capabilities too. Like Dart Monkey and Ace are a lot better than Boomerang and Village for defending most, if not all, rushes, which is a major advantage against this. The only big downside is that it's not viable on every map because it needs a map which has a decent Monkey Ace spot, because the Monkey Ace is actually very important for defending early to mid-game rushes, like round 13, for example. So anyways, as you can see, round 4 and 5 have passed. Those were the pink balloon rounds, and if you noticed, I only bought 2 Dart Monkeys during that time. One I upgraded to 0-3 and put it on strong. The other one was only 0-2, not triple darts. So it's very important to be greedy with this strategy, because you need as much income as possible, because you actually have to stop your income at an early point. A lot of people do generally get the second triple arts, but you shouldn't if you want to defeat pinks. I only leaked 13 lives, and there were a lot of pinks sent at me. I'll be showing you more early game eventually. So anyways, round 8 hit, and I decided to put a little bit extra pressure on this round, but normally it's actually very important that you do not send balloons after round 8, including on round 8. You don't want to like all-out yellow spam like this. The only reason he can get away with it is because he's going farms. With the Cobra strat, you absolutely will not send balloons on or after round 8. I mean, unless if your income's like really shit, like it's 450, you need to bump it up to 500, then in that case I guess you can get away with it, because generally you want to aim for like 500 plus eco. If you're not playing against a good player, you'll generally get more because they'll be less harassing, and they'll allow you to have more time to build up eco. So yes, it's very important though for most games that you do stop eco at round 8. So anyways, rush time. First important round is round 13, and as you can see, we're just testing this with like all-out regen Rainbow Rush, because this is probably the round where people rush the most. If you can't beat this round, your strategy is pretty much shit. It's very important to take into account. As you can see, getting a 0-3 Monkey Ace and boosting was pretty good. I'll just show it again with a little bit of round 11 harassment too, just showing like what would happen if there were, you know, white balloons. If they try to get you a rush, you just buy like 5 triple darts and then sell them by the time of the rush. It is important to sell the triple darts and not the juggernaut to defend the rush. So what if your opponent actually gets you to boost? Like they're like, oh yep, this is a lot of harassment, I'm just gonna boost here to make sure I don't die, or you know, if you freak out. So generally, you don't want to boost. Like, these white balloons are not causing me a boost, but now he's sending these zebras, so it's like, okay, either I boost or I die. If he does that, then he may think the opponent may think they have an opportunity to go all in and just screw you. However, if you get a 2-3 Monkey Ace, upgrading it all the way to the left side after third tier to the right, that way you'll be able to beat the Rainbow Rush right from the get-go. Very important though, very important, is that the Monkey Ace has to be upgraded to 2-3 before the rush actually happens. It has to be ready. You can't just sloppily buy it late and complain that it didn't work, because, I mean, that's your fault for being slow at micro. So, again, round 13 is very difficult. There's a reason I showed 3 defends of it, because, I mean, you have to practice that a lot. I'll probably revisit it later, because it's probably one of the major roadblocks in this strategy, because you have to balance greed and, well, being able to defend. Speaking of greed, I actually went for extra greed in this game, only getting 2 triple darts to defend round 8. He made me boost with his small yellow rush. So now I'm going to show you how to defend a much larger secondary yellow rush involving a Spike-a-Pult on strong and 3 triple dart monkeys. One of the triple dart monkeys is actually also on strong, the other 2 on first, very important. So anyways, you'll see that I'm popping lead balloons with road spikes. Note that I did not place the road spikes down just at the end of the track, starting at the beginning of the game. You don't want to do that with this strategy. You want to use road spikes to help you out with mid-game rushes, like lead balloons. That way, your opponent should be forced to send a lot more lead balloons if they actually want to do damage. Then you can just save money and not upgrade the spike bolts right away. And also, I mean, you can get your opponent to send more balloons. If they're sending balloons, that's money they're not spending on farms, which is another way you're just screwing over farms. So anyways, now that we're finally past round 13, right, we got our solid defense. Nature Spirit knows that we can just sell our Dart Monkeys for a Monkey Ace and defend the rush pretty easily. So now the Cobra begins. Yeah, that third tower. You can't forget about it now, can you? Now, once you start getting Cobras, the Cobras now become the things that you would want to sell in order to buy more defense in case they rush you. The Cobras are now your banana farms, pretty much, except they can also pop a little bit. So have them on strong, so they're most effective. Also, something that's worth doing is harassing the farm users if they seem to be too greedy. You only had 2 or 3 Dart Monkeys before, so I sent out some Zebras, just get them to waste some money on that. Because again, this strategy is all about harassing and putting pressure on farm users. You want to make it so it's as difficult for them to farm as possible. Generally, they would want to get that 4-tier farm, which you see he is going for right now, which conveniently is going to time up pretty well with a small rush I'll be sending his way, and then the balloon adjustment. So now he's got a boost here, forcing out that battle energy, which is very important for Dart farm users to have. They generally want to conserve their battle energy so they can defeat late game rushes. However, if you get them out of the Cobras, then you can just wreak havoc on them. So now the balloon adjusting begins. We actually didn't upgrade into balloon adjustment until about round 18 actually. So it was just 1-0 Cobras, just the money earners before. Now we got mad balloon adjustment, which is making it a huge deal for the opponent. It's very, very difficult. Notice they haven't actually upgraded their factory since they first got it. They're only getting $600 per crate, which means it's not upgraded to the right side at all. They've been too busy focusing on trying to get defense. Because the balloon adjustment is a very scary thing. Holy balls, is it scary. And generally, all you have to do is just kind of keep coasting on the balloon adjustment and eventually allow them to drain themselves. I think he has 6 total Juggernauts, which is a lot of money being spent on defense. So basically, he is so far behind in money, you can just start building up eco and usually win out by the mid-20s or so. Now, the only way that he can actually get back at you is if he drops a rush round 22. Round 20 is easy to defend. I mean, it's just BFBs and Wolves. Then you can sell the Cobras for a fan club, which is not that bad. Like, selling Cobras is pretty easy. Probably should work, the hotkeys like backspace to sell, just so you can click and sell very quickly. I mean, it helps for defending. So anyways, yes, like I said before, round 22 rush coming. He sold his farm actually because it's about to happen. Also just having a little bit extra defense just so I don't do any cheeky counter rushing. Not today. So anyways, here comes the ZOMG. We're gonna fan club that down, but it's not just one ZOMG. It is 2 motherfucking ZOMGs right up in here. First one got knocked down to BFBs thanks to the fan club ability, and now we're actually doing something really cheeky with the Cobra, selling a few to get the misdirection ability, so we can send the BFBs over to his side, and basically it doubles as a counter rush. Not only are we defeating the balloons on our side, but we're also counter rushing onto his side. Note that the Cobra ability, it's not available right when you buy it, so you got to be sure to place it ahead of the track. So by the time it's ready, the balloon will actually be in its range. It only misdirects the largest balloon in its range too, which is very, very important. Anyways, last ZOMG though, we only defeated one of them. Now, currently, because Nature Spirit spent so much money on the rush, he doesn't have the money to defend 4 VFBs. Even with Fan Club, I mean, it won't do enough. He also spent a lot of boost to use all his boost to defend the balloon adjustment, so obviously it's a very difficult deal. So we gotta defeat this last ZOMG, knock down the BFBs of Fan Club, and absolutely destroyed with the ground 0. Even with slow micro, I was able to make it work, which is very important. And now that I have that, I still have income, and I can just kind of survive it out, while my opponent will just not have enough money to defend a counter rush, and they'll be taken down. So that's the general gist of the strategy. Now we're back to round 13, because again, while trying to fine-tune this, we've hit a lot of roadblocks. It is very, very difficult to actually get down defending round 13, and there's a lot of technicalities and a lot of playing it by ear, which involves just a lot of overall strategy. you know, it takes a lot of skill to actually get through and defend round 13. So I'm going to show you some failures and elaborate on how to overcome these mistakes. Alright, so the first mistake you can make when actually defending the round 13 rush is selling the Juggernaut instead of the Dart Monkeys. As you can see, some of the lead balloons got a lot further, and they would have been taken care of with the Juggernaut, at least most likely, or in situations other than that one. So you want to sell the Dart Monkeys and then get a 2-3 ace and boost the defend. For this one, this is a problem of not boosting in the first place. Sometimes you can just be caught off guard with a massive white rush, like they're just really committing to it. And you have to be able to gauge when they're actually committing to the rush and go ahead and boost then, because otherwise you die. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with boosting and then later just being able to sell and get that monkey ace. This one has a problem with me boosting too early now. This one, I wasted like a lot of money on the mortar, had a lot of money just sitting around and not doing anything. I could have easily just bought Dart Monkeys to defend the you know, the pre-rush. That's what you want to do. You actually want to buy triple darts in general, unless it's a large committal rush. So that ended up screwing me up over in the end. So the mortar is not a fourth tower you do want to use. There actually are quite a few fourth towers that do help you out defending Rigger Ambush. Is though, like the tack shooter, you can just get a Blade Maelstrom. Another good one is Boomerang. Also Bomb for Cluster Bomb. Very good fourth towers that you can use to your advantage and allow yourself to be a bit more greedy. Ninja's not too bad for late game either. I mean, even Ice Tower for ice ability, stalling the rush, and then just counter rushing your opponent. So you can use that to your advantage. So anyways, that is about the strategy. Again, originally by Gaming Shaft. You should check him out. He's a pretty cool guy, and his link's in the description. And Nature Spirit 2, his also link is in the description. A couple other things I did want to mention that I just don't really have adequate footage for. So there's like a couple edge cases where you may encounter in this strategy. When my opponent rushed me with 2 ZOMGs, sometimes they are able to rush you with 1 ZOMG or 3 ZOMGs. Sometimes it's not 2. And 1 ZOMG is usually even easier to defend than 2, I mean, logically, right? But for 3 ZOMGs, then usually it shouldn't be possible for your opponent to have enough money to send 3 ZOMGs and defend a counter rush. So generally what you do is wait, you know, until you see 3 ZOMGs on the screen. You defend the first ZOMG like how you would in this video, just misdirecting, and then you also counter rush them with Fast Call and Moabs. If they have Dart Farm Bomb, Dart Farm Ace, Dart Farm Ice, they just simply will not have the money to defend that. So that should work out at least a little bit better for you as long as you're playing skillfully. Very, very important, and honestly, it's still a very tough strategy to polish out, so I hope you guys give it a try and give it some practice, like defending, especially around 13, and then also the late game, you know, defending ZOMG rushes. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting, actually. I really love the Cobras, and I thought this makes for a really fun strategy. Have not had this much fun defending in a while, at least, so that was cool. That was pretty cool indeed. So, yeah, give it a try, only on some maps again. And, yeah, go kick some farm users' ass. Thanks all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Next video is Tuesday, and peace out.